So the first question is, why do you guys do homecoming at high school?
Well, homecoming's been a tradition for a very long time across the United States as an opportunity for more about the alumni of the high school to come back and celebrate traditions, tour the school, see each other again. That's why it's called homecoming. But there are a lot of events that are celebrated amongst the student body that currently attend the high school.
Would you change anything about homecoming, and why would you change it?
I would. I am not a huge fan of crowning a king and a queen and at homecoming. Um, it seems to be a little divisive and cause a little bit of disruption in the week of homecoming for students, especially those on the homecoming court. I think it should be recognized as an honor to be selected by your classmates to be on the homecoming court, and just leave it at that. I don't know why we have to bring it down to. But again, homecoming is steeped in a lot of traditions, and so electing that king and queen have gone across a lot of school districts, and others have moved away from this tradition because of the divisiveness of this event.
Which one do you think is better, homecoming or prom?
I like prom better. Again, we don't have quite as much hoopla that's going on around prom. Um, while the students do get dressed up nicely for both events, I guess I'm talking myself into two things here, but prom is much more formal, although some people make homecoming pretty doggone formal. But I feel like homecoming should be more casual. And then you save all that really fancy tuxedos and things like that for prom, so that there's a difference between the two, but it is what it is. And we see the gamut in terms of clothing at high school, which I celebrate those who choose to use a much lighter budget when they select their clothes for a homecoming, and then save that big event for senior year at prom. So I guess I love seeing the students dressed up at prom and more mature and things like that. So it's kind of fun, but we just have the two dances. So either one, they're both fun.
If you're voted by someone and you didn't want to be in homecoming, could you decline it?
Well, absolutely. Absolutely, you could. But again, I think if we think of it in terms of the honor of being selected by your peers to represent the entire senior class on that homecoming court, I think that in itself is what's pretty cool about being on the homecoming court.
Some kids are voting people who don't want to do it, and they're like peer pressure to be on the court. Do you think that is a problem for homecoming?
I would say that I've been in education for 31 years. I did student council in another school, or two other schools, for a total of 15 years. And over the course of all of those years, there have been times when a student has been nominated as a joke, which is very unfortunate that that people would find pleasure in making fun of somebody, especially if it's in the case of a disability or something like that. Nowadays, we call that harassment. Right? But on the other side of that, there have been special needs students who have been nominated because their peers are impressed by what they are achieving as a student with special needs. And so it's a slippery slope. You have to be very careful about why you're nominating someone, because I've seen it happen where special needs students are recognized. It's a very special time. They're not being made fun of. One year I was at a school where a student who was dying from cancer was nominated, and that was pretty special. And when she won it was homecoming queen, when she won, the whole school, it was during an assembly, the whole school just erupted in applause because, that was a special memory. And it
Yeah.
wasn't much longer after that she did pass. So
Oh,
what a special way for the student body to recognize
yeah.
their classmate and the troubles and the things that she was going through.
Should we add more informations on the homecoming court names? Like how I looked at the homecoming like voting names for the guys and the girls. All of their names are like all put together. So do you think we should add like at least their names or maybe clubs, academic, what they're in? So that like if some people don't recognize their names, maybe they can recognize the face and maybe they can vote with the names with it.
Interesting. Interesting. That's certainly something we could present to the student senate to consider, that there's a photo included with the name because maybe you've been somewhere and interacted with that person, but you didn't necessarily know their name.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's some information provided about how the student has been involved at MHS. Some of those demographic we can't give everybody's GPA out or anything like that.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting concept. I don't know that we've ever considered that, so I can share that with the student senate for future consideration. And then we play Fort Dodge on Friday night at 7:30 at Leonard Cole Field. So be there, be square. It's going to be a hopping time. There will be a lot of community members involved in that. And then, of course, the dance is Saturday from 8 to 11 in the auxiliary gym. No tickets will be sold at the door.
And then the last question, do you have anything to add, anything to say?
I do. Really hopeful that our students will have a safe prom or homecoming. It's prom, prom as well. But anytime that we have a big gathering like this and everyone gets dressed up and everyone's out having dinner and traveling around the community, taking pictures and at their homes and at those wonderful backdrops that are available around beautiful Marshalltown, I want them to be safe. Please be safe, drive carefully, wear your seatbelts, don't drink and drive, don't use drugs and alcohol. Be safe because we want this event to be very special for everyone and we want to remember all the fun things and not have any bad things spoil the wonderful memories that we can have.